Hello, my name is Anita Benitez, and I'm from CTA's Institute for Teaching, and we are happy to actually have you join us today. We have Jane Patterson from Thrively, and she's going to kind of go over some of the wonderful things that you can actually do with Thrively. And it's really, you're going to learn how Thrively supports the growth mindset and how you can unlock your students' habit of mind and intelligences. Sounds like it's going to be a great session, so we're looking forward to it. We're just going to wait a few more minutes to give everybody the opportunity to log in. But for those of you that are already here, thank you very much and welcome. It's interesting, I'm noticing a few individuals that were actually joined us yesterday in our webinar. Yeah, in our webinar. So appreciate that. Those of you that actually have come back today. And also, if you have not already requested access for the Thrively Classroom Pro, you can still do that if you are interested in upgrading to the Classroom Pro. We're going to put that information in chat a little bit later here. But if you have, please look out for an email that you should be receiving. And I think, Jane, is that coming from you? Will that be from you, the email to actually give them the code to actually log into Classroom Pro?
You may get it. You may. I've got some feedback. So you may get it from me and also from Thrively, info at thrively.com. So we want to make sure that you get that. So look for 2 emails.
I think Miss Beller had actually asked about that yesterday. So I'm glad I can see that she's joined us today.
Great.
And when I'm talking about yesterday, we had a parent, the Parent Teacher Home Visit Project had a webinar that we did yesterday. So that's what I'm referring back to. For those of you who are saying, well, what is she talking about?
Nice.
Great question. We have someone that's actually interested in the university credit. We are still in the process of working on that, so please just hang in there. We haven't got the actual course assignment, the actual number yet, but it is in the works. So you will have that very shortly. And when we do, we'll make sure that we let you guys know. And if you join us, we're looking at having the next Thrively webinar on December 2nd. We should be able to share that information as well. Yes, good questions. There are actually 10 webinars that you'll actually have, and then there will be 5 hours of coursework in order to qualify for that 1 university credit. And I think that's going to be priced at about $75 for that unit. And yes, this would count as 1. You also will have the opportunity, because we are archiving these sessions. So if you do happen to miss one of them in the series of 10, you can go back later and watch that and kind of recapture that hour. So should we go ahead? We've got it's been about 5 minutes. Should we go ahead and get started? I know I really want to be respectful of people's time here. So again, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we are going to have a wonderful presentation. It's Thrively. We have Jane Patterson from Thrively here to join us. And she is actually going to kind of go through, Thrively and how it actually supports the growth mindset by unlocking our students' habits of minds and intelligences. So that's going to be something that we kind of look at. So please join me in welcoming Jane. Jane, take it over.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, CTA members. Welcome. I'm delighted. I was a CTA member in some decades ago, so I'm delighted to be here and to see all the great work that everybody is doing and be able to support it as well. So I'm Jane at thrively.com. You can reach out to me anytime. So let's take a deeper dive into Thrively. But first, I want to start with strengths. Now, I know some of us in the room have already joined Thrively and have taken the strengths assessment. If you have, and if you remember one of your top 5 strengths, put that in the chat. So Anita's going to read the chat for us in just a minute. But if you haven't had an opportunity to do that, go ahead and look at the 23 that are up here. Just what's your go-to strength? Just grab one off this list, put it in the chat. Let's find out who's in the room, right? According to our strengths. All right, let's take about really like 10 seconds to do that. So Anita, when you start seeing strengths pop up, feel free to share those with us, and let's start here.
Sorry, patience, coordination. I was on mute. Creative thinking, independence.
Great. That's good, everybody.
Compassion.
Oh, nice.
Coordinating. Okay. They're coming in quick now. Flexibility and compassion. 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 Boy, we've got quite a few for compassion.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Anita. And folks, go ahead and continue to put those in there. I'll ask you today from time to time to share with us in the chat. But what I wanted to start here, and we're going to come back to this, but I wanted you to see who's in the room, right? We've got a lot of compassion in the room, a lot of flexibility, so many different strengths that we utilize together to increase our collective impact across our school, our districts, our schools, and within our classrooms. So thank you so much for sharing, but we're coming back to this in a minute. All right, so here are our outcomes for today. So you're going to discover how Thrively can support you in furthering a strengths-driven culture. We know you already have one. This will just make it so much easier for you to implement. And then we'll learn how Thrively can support your goals for learners. There's a lot in the platform. You'll see that today. And think about those goals that you have. And as you see various features in Thrively, kind of think about, oh, right, this really aligns with this particular goal or outcome that we have for our learners. All right, and we'll also learn how to launch Thrively in your classroom. I think that's why you're here today. So I'll give you the resources to do that. And we'll get you into it this week, I hope. I hope you'll start soon. And I'm going to engage you as a learner as well. And to do that today, if you do have a pen or pencil and a piece of paper, you'll need it. I know that's very intriguing. You're not used to those anymore. We're just on Zoom so much, but it looks like that. And then there's a paper. So if you've got that, grab it. We'll use it in a little bit. And then, of course, you're going to learn how to access Thrively support. CTA members, we are here for you 24/7, whatever you need. Whatever you need to launch this successfully with your classes, you let us know. All right, so with all of that said as our outcomes, we are going to get started. You can, I think these are in the chat, and any incoming email that you receive from us is generally coming in from info@thrively.com. I want to make sure that we don't end up in your spam. So if you would just add that to your contacts, and support at Thrively is how you reach out for support. There are other ways too, and I'll show you how to do that and how we make that really easy for you. Alrighty, for those of you who love to tweet, you can join the national dialogue of educators all over the country who are utilizing Thrively. We're at Thrively, and I've suggested some hashtags you might think about. You might recognize that first one. We are CTA, but feel free to, of course, to engage in that dialogue with other educators. And now we're going to go ahead and log in or join Thrively. So those of you who just are like, hey, Jane, I just came for the webinar to watch, that's fine. But we do have folks in the room who are going to want to join the Thrively today because they're doing the credit, but also you can get a sense for how it works by getting onto the platform yourself. And how you do that, it just could not be easier. If you go to thrively.com/login, you can just link your Google account to Thrively and boom, you're done. Sign up as an educator. Make sure you don't sign up as a student. Sign up as an educator, and definitely use your district or school email. Use your district email, or if you're an independent school, use your school email. All right, so sign up, sign in, and let's get started. All right, I think that this is such a great way to start. It's 2 minutes of Karen Pittman, the CEO of Forum for Youth Investment. And let's listen to her for just a second, and then we're going to get started with Thrively.
Young people's racial and cultural identities are critically important. And we have to acknowledge that the way we have set up opportunities for learning and development are not always respectful of the diversity that we have in this country. As we are thinking about how to maximize chances that young people are thriving, it's important to let them lead with their identity. Not bury it, but lead with it. Show it off, be proud of it, actually display it, to perform it, to put it up on the stage, to put it up on the screen, to make videos about it, to write poetry about it. So they are really bringing themselves into the room. If I come into a space and I don't trust this space and I don't bring my full self into this space, the behavior that you see may not be reflection of my competence. It's a reflection of me not being motivated to show you what I have because I don't trust this situation. If I don't have a relationship with you and I don't get to be a little bit more of who I am, you're going to slow down my learning and development by not knowing me. Schools and community organizations and families and the overall sort of environment of the community are all playing a role in shaping the experiences and contexts and relationships where learning happens. That basically is what the science of learning and development has told us, that all adults, all settings, all experiences matter.
All right, so now I'm going to share with you our core philosophy at Thrively, and you'll see why I wanted to start with Karen Pittman. We're so aligned, and I know you are too, and that's why you're here. But we believe that every student should be known. They should be able to say strongly, "Hey, I've got talents. I belong here." Right? When we know that, we know from research that when students believe that their teachers know their strengths, they're 30 times more engaged. And what Karen Pittman said completely corroborates that. Right. So we're going to help make this easier. We know that you strive to do this, each one of you, but we're going to make it easier for you at Thrively. We also want to build off students' passions and help them discover things that they had never thought of in terms of potential careers. And just like, if there's so much excitement in Thrively, you're going to see that in just a second. We're also going to help them develop the kinds of skills that you're supporting every single day across the content, right? The communication skills, creativity, collaboration, all of those critical skills for learning and for life. And then the authentic learning piece is the project resource in Thrively, where we can get students to really take an opportunity to share who they are and also to collaborate with one another in an environment of trust. And that's what Karen was talking about too, that's establishing those trusting environments. And then ultimately, why we're all here is to empower our learners, right? So that they are, they're empowered, they're attentive, and they're ready for life, ready to go. So thank you all for, joining us. We're all together in this, and I'm excited that you're interested in and that you're launching Thrively. So we know that, So our core premise in Thrively is that every single human being comes to their environment with strengths already. Right? How did it feel when you named your strength and you put it into that chat? It felt good, right? It's like, this is what I am, right? This is who I am. So we're talking about what I bring, not what I don't have. So every learner in Thrively, after 40 minutes taking this Thrively Strengths Assessment, finds out who they are. And when they understand those strengths, and when their educators and the caring adults around them know them, we can help those students leverage those strengths to solve any challenge that confronts them. So we're going to look at that today. We're also going to look at multiple intelligence theory. We know there are so many ways to be intelligent. We have all of these intelligences, each one of us, but we're going to let those top 3 rise to the surface for our learners so that they understand really how they navigate the world. And I'll show you what that looks like in the platform as well. And then we'll also look at habits of mind. And I know Anita talked about growth mindset. All of these are so essential, but especially the habits. Art Costa and Benekalik's collective, collectively it would be like 60 years of collective research into the 16 habits that every successful adult possesses. I'm going to show you how you can access those in Thrively. Students taken this survey, they're done in about 30 minutes, and we can track these along the way. So we'll take a look at that. Alrighty, but before we do, I think it's really important to hear from the students. So this is one of your the Western High School, one of your fellow CTA members. School, let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Kayla Sanchez, and I'm a student here at Western High School. I'm currently a Link Crew Leader and ASB President.
Hi, my name is Alvin Chen, and I'm a Western student. I'm currently in the 9th grade.
My name is Chris Patel, and I'm currently a sophomore at Western High School.
Hi, I'm Rihanna. I'm from Western High School, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Ramesh Bhagat. I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Rihanna Olivas. I'm a sophomore here at Western High School.
Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Casillan, and I'm a senior here at Western High School.
My top 5 strengths are memory,
focus, verbal,
analytical,
social justice,
academic,
athleticism,
patience,
flexibility,
appreciation,
verbal,
drive,
social,
and assertiveness,
teamwork,
and leadership.
and independence.
It definitely helped me know what kind of person I am, what helps me, how I learn, and how to use those to the best of my abilities.
and help me focus more and upgrade my strengths from being focused.
I knew I was a really social person, and I'm really flexible. And I recently came to US. Well, it's not recently. It's like 4 years ago almost. People are gonna be like, "Oh, you're new. You don't know what's going on." I know what's going on. I catch up to everything. I'm driven and I'm academic. I'm really flexible and I'm really social. So that's why I catch up to everything, and I'm going to catch up to you guys too.
I actually agree with everything on it because it really captures me. Even for some of the strengths, I didn't even know that I had.
When I was reading it, I was like, are they writing like a whole story about me? Like, I didn't know that I wrote this. Like, I really thought like they got so close to me. I took a lot of like tests about like trying to find who I am, but like this is the most accurate one I've ever received.
When I first received my top 5 strengths, I kind of felt that it was really accurate.
When I first seen these top 5 strengths, I learned that being driven is one of my most important and key concepts of me. And I believe that whenever I put my mind into something, I believe I will put all 100%, and then I will spend all 24 hours until I finish it.
After doing Thrively, after learning a few lessons, I improved my academic viewpoint and how academics could help me improve who I am.
Well, I believe that through Thrively, I've learned how to take in my strengths and use those to like overcome my weaknesses. For example, independence. I've always known that I am an independent person. So through these different lessons on Thrively, I've been able to learn even more about my independence and what makes me better at this or not as well, and what I can work on.
I think that seeing these really made me feel accomplished, and the fact that people are seeing me in this way also like made me feel very proud of myself for coming a long way.
On my journals, I talked about how kindness can be anything, and I really think that's true because all the teachers here and like are really kind and all the students, and I think we really benefit off Thrively.
Okay. Oops. All right. Well, who could say it better, right, than students, and especially Rihanna. Oh my gosh, she's going to catch up to us, and she probably already has. So here's what happens when your students take the strengths assessment. It goes automatically into their digital portfolio. So take a look at this. This is Anna, and Anna just spent 35, 40 minutes taking the strengths assessment. And here's what she gets to see right off the bat. Hey, you're an exceptionally goal-oriented individual. You have this gift of being able to focus on details. You're an easygoing personality. People just like being around you. So she knows, hey, I've got focus, I'm analytical, I'm flexible. So for our learners starting in grades 3, so from grades 3 through 12, this is the assessment they take. our pre-K2 learners take a slightly different assessment, which I can talk to you about later. Feel free to ask questions in the chat about that. But for our learners that are still, developing academic language, we can hover over here. We don't water it down. We don't water anything down for kids. So here's what this means. So hover over each of these, Anna, and find out how amazing you are. So once she sees that, right, we then ask her, hey, why don't you, make a statement about yourself in their digital portfolio. So my name is Anna, I'm a dancer, I sing, I love music, I speak 2 languages and I want to learn Mandarin. It's so empowering for our learners. We're going to come back to this portfolio in a little bit, but I do want to share, that Anna can also see not just her strengths, but here are her intelligences. And she knows when she looks at this, like she's got all of these, right? We all do, but these are her go-to. She's interpersonal, she's logic smart, she's visual. So she can see these and understand kind of how she perceives and makes sense of the world. And the habits of mind, here are the 16 for Anna, right? Her top 3, you can see them up there. But here are some where she struggles. So she struggles thinking flexibly, taking responsible risks. And it probably isn't a surprise to our educators in the room, that would be everybody, by the way, that sometimes people who strive for accuracy kind of find it hard to take responsible intellectual risks. So how do we put our arms around these learners as a school community to say, hey, Anna, this is something that's okay. And, Anita talked about growth mindset. If we're going to grow our intelligence, of course, we have to take those risks. So we know that this is a struggle for her, but now we know how to help her, and she understands it too. We want our students to understand their own data. We also have the RIASEC assessment, which are personality types. I'll share that with you in a bit, but this is really fun too. These are, decades of research into the kinds of personalities that tend to be happy with certain profession over time. So again, we're just learning so much more about our students. And I want to take you back to your dashboard. So this is you are all Jean. And so Jean can go, okay, I've just had my entire class take the strengths assessment, and let me take a look. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to actually go to all students. Let's say you're the counselor or it's the administrator. You can select by any class or by all classes, however you want to do this. But look at this dashboard. So what are your students' strengths? It's always fun, we see so much data, right? You guys are, I'm sure, shaking your heads, but I bet we've never seen data like this. So I can go right here to resilience, click on resilience, and I can say, who are those students who have resilience as a top strength? And let's bring those voices into the room and say, hey, this is what resilience means, right? You can bounce back from adversity. What have you been doing to kind of deal with the stresses and pressures right now? Abigail, Anna, Andrew, Bobby. And now, instead of having one teacher, we have, we've got another 25, right? Who can help us understand some of those skills that attend having resilience. So as I scroll down here, right, some of us had, let's see, some of us had compassion today as a strength. Well, it's not a strong suit with this group, by the way, folks, but compassion, we can look at that and we can say, all right, maybe since it's not really an area where we are strong as a community, how do we work on that as a community? And I can go right here in any of these strengths, and there's a hyperlinked lesson in Thrively where we can all look at this as in my classroom or as a school, even as a district. We have districts that are just focusing on empathy and compassion, for these first several months of school right now. So this is all data that can help you understand your students, build those relationships. Here's the K2. We look at the top 3 of 10 strengths. And I'll come, this is an assessment that families administer, and I can tell you a little more about that later. So before our students take the strengths assessment, we say, hey, what are you interested in? What gets you excited? So let's look at our folks who are interested in science and technology. Right. So all right, this is good to know, but let's take a look at who our engineers are, right? There's Alondra and Alejandro and Ava. And now, again, I'll bring up Anita a lot probably in talking about growth mindset. If Ava is struggling with a mathematics class or a physical science class, we can say, hey, Ava, I know you want to be an engineer, and this content is so important, and these are the building blocks for all the classes you're going to take, but also more importantly, these are the building blocks for a career that you aspire to. So now this is helping you not only get to know your students, but also help them see that what they're learning in your classes is relevant to their aspirations, their goals, their dreams, right? So much, it's just so powerful to have this available to you. We also ask them, hey, what careers sound like fun? So who are those, who are our future astronauts? There's Ava again. She wants to be everything. I love that. But there's Lucas. Lucas wants to be an astronaut. How great to know that, so we can share resources with him that are exciting and get him excited about other subjects because we know that he's interested in this. And look at all the careers that our folks at this school are interested in. So much fun and so powerful to know. I'm going to share a couple of more, and then I'm going to take you back to the student view on this. So when I'm looking, we talked about the multiple intelligences assessment, and I know we use that with students with learning differences really all across the country. And mostly when I go from kind of state to state, they're doing this on paper. Well, Thrively, you don't need to do anything like this on paper anymore. Not only do you not have to do that, but now you have all the aggregate and individual data to really help your learners along. So let's see who are our visual folks. So we've got Abigail and Anna and Carly as visual learners, right? How do we support them with whatever content they have? If they need that visual connection to really understand challenging concepts, then let's give that to them. Who are those students who are verbal, right? What do they need to do? What support do they need from us, right? So it's so critical for them to know we're intelligent in a lot of ways. And IQ is just really one of those ways. And then with habits of mind, look at the aggregate. It's probably not surprising in this group, because you saw on us too, that we still struggle with listening with understanding and empathy, thinking flexibly, and taking responsible risks. So this flexible thinking, which we have a lot of in this room right now among the educators here, and you know how critical that is right now. My goodness, we need to hear more from you. Help us all understand how to think flexibly in these times. I guess we have no choice. But for our young learners, how do we help them understand what that means? So we can look here and say, okay, let's look at our students who are those who are striving for accuracy. And that's how they process information, right? So if we've got Jason Mendez down here. So Jason's one of those kids who strives for accuracy. So he might be that person who finds it a little, kind of a tough pill to swallow if he wasn't successful at something. And that's okay, because we can go back and say, hey, this is, because you should have this habit, but let's build this other habit too, right? Where you're really able to take those risks, think more flexibly, and persist. So persisting is so critical for us too. So learning this about our students is absolutely essential to whatever that is. You guys have access to all of that within like 30 minutes of students having taken the assessment. So I want to go back to what the students see for just a second. So remember, now that you saw it in the aggregate, each student owns their own learning journey in Thrively. We talked about that one core premise, which is that I am empowered, right? And which is why we're all here. I have agency, I have my own voice. And we can only do that if we allow, students to understand their strengths, their intelligences, their habits, but also seeing, that they are really in control of this journey. We're here to help them along the way, but this is up to them. So what support do they need? So here are all of Anna's interests. Let's take a look really quickly at her. Let's look at her dashboard. So I think it's noteworthy that Thrively was designed for young people to use in their homes without the benefit of professional educators, right? So the user experience in Thrively for our young people is so simple. It's just beautiful. It just couldn't be easier. Everything that you've assigned them is right here in their playlists. Right, they can explore career pathways from here. In fact, and engage in their projects. their entire, right, their entire journey and is here in their portfolio, and everything we need them to do is here in their dashboard. So I want to look at Anna's pathways. So remember when I showed you those data where students were sharing what they were interested in. So Anna is interested in being an animator. She shared that with us. So we have her interest up here in purple. And then down below, we have some recommended pathways based on those interests. And then we have some that are just serendipitous, like, okay, let's say, well, a retail salesperson, that is pretty serendipitous for Anna. But sometimes those pop up in there. You can see them here. What's a venture capitalist, right? That's a weird one. So she might be interested in just checking some things out. But let's look at the one that she was interested in. She wants to be an animator, right? So, all right, if I want to be an animator, I can see in Thrively what the salary is here, what kind of education is required. And remember those RIASAC Holland codes? Anna happened to be artistic and investigative, so this could be a really good career for her. This means that people over the long haul who've been animators more than 10 years are still very happy with that profession. And wouldn't that be wonderful to come out of our learning organizations ready for anything and then to select a career that's exciting for us, that we are interested in staying in. I can look here too at more. And my fellow educator friends are going to love this, because here are the skills Anna can see. All right, I want to be an animator, but I still need to read with comprehension. I need to think critically. I need to manage my time. I need to know how to speak. I have to listen. So everything you tell your students every day, everything their families tell them every day, you need to learn across the curriculum, right? Because this kind of holistic approach to learning isn't just to pass a class, guys. This is because you have this aspiration. This is why you need this. So let Thrively help you guys in really backing you up to say, yes, you need every bit of content here. You're learning to think critically in science, in social science, in your English classes, in your health classes, whatever it is across the board, in your physical ed classes too. So all of that is there for her. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to take us back to the slideshow. And, oh, actually, I'm sorry, I don't want to take us back there yet. I want to show you a couple more things because I think you'll really like this, because I like this. When I go to my class, I used to get rosters with just a bunch of names, right? But this is what your roster looks like in Thrively. So look, there's Anna again. She's in my homeroom, and I can see instantly, oh, that's right. Anna wants to be an architect. She's interested in academics. If I click on her profile, look at that. There are her top strengths, her aspirations, her interests. So when I'm having that one-on-one with her, I can look at that. Or if I've got a whole class coming in, let's say that I'm a counselor, right? And I've got my, ninth grade, A to E's coming in. So how can I get a quick snapshot of who those folks are? So look at this. I can just go, okay, these are my people coming in this, on, Monday, and these are my Tuesday guys. I know their strengths, their interests, their aspirations right off the bat. I don't have to go digging for that. And I can help them start to make those course decisions, college and career decisions when I have access to all of this, as well as their portfolio. And let me go here and show you what we can share with families. I know you guys are going to love this. Check this out. I go to print strength certificate. I'm going to pick Spanish, and I'm going to pick, doesn't matter, any kid. There's Ashley. All right. And parents can see their child's strength certificate in Spanish. I wish we had other languages. We don't right now, just English and Spanish, but how empowering is this for families to see and be so proud of their children and what what their strengths are, and they can learn to support those strengths in the home as well. All right, going back to our slides. So I want to show you what you can do in Thrively. All righty. Oops, we don't need that one again. There we go. Oh, okay. So now I'm going to take you on a journey. I want you all to just kind of take a breath and imagine that you are students. I'm going to show you first how to use Thrively in a synchronous learning environment, right? Because I know some of us are going to hybrid, some of us aren't, some of us do pre-K2 and we need to do this synchronously. So hang in there with me. It's going to be brief, but let me show you what it looks like here as a learner. We're going to do a couple of K2s, a middle and a high school. All right, so what's your name? And I bet a lot of you have already read, if you're in early childhood, you've probably read this book, Chrysanthemum. So I'm going to show you how we'll do this in a synchronous environment. So be my students for a second, bear with me. All right, so okay, students, so today in the Zoom, what I'm going to ask you to do is think about your name. But first, we're going to hear about somebody with a beautiful name. And let's watch this story.
And now, Chrysanthemum, written and illustrated by Kevin Hankins. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives.
Okay. All right, kids. So we watched the whole thing, right? And you just learned that Chrysanthemum loved her name. And then she became self-conscious about it, right? And then later she learned to love it again. So I want you to put your name in the chat, if you would, and say why your name is perfect for you. So you could take a minute to do that if you would like to today, but I would share this entire video, of course, synchronously, and I would front load it by asking students to first think about their name and where they got it, and then we'd watch this video. It's just, it's a few minutes, and it's a lot of fun. And I would not have the younger ones do this with the camera yet. I'm going to show you how students can engage with Thrively content, either in text, audio, or video. But for our purposes in a synchronous environment, I'm just going to have them put it in the chat, and then we're going to go around the room and we're going to talk about why our names are perfect for us. All right. So coming back to here, we're going to do one more. All right, class. So now we're going to talk about self-control, and we're going to hear about self-control from a master of it ourselves. But here's what I need you to do, right? I want you to think about some of the strategies that Cookie Monster uses. What are some ways that Cookie Monster learns to stay calm and wait for something that he really, really wants? So think about that as we watch this video. All right, class, let's take a look.
Here at NPR's Life Kit Parenting podcast, we've been looking into different strategies to help kids learn self-regulation, which experts say is an essential skill for success in school and in life. And today we're joined by a very special guest from Sesame Street who has a interesting relationship to self-control. Hey, Cookie.
Hi, Corey. Hi. Yeah, me self-control expert.
Expert?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Me control myself all the time. Yeah, me told me feet to walk to studio. Me told me hands to brush me fur for important interview. Self-control.
Cookie, that's not really what I meant by self-control.
Oh, what you mean?
Well, I'm talking about self-regulation, like staying calm and resisting impulses, even when there's something we really, really want to do, like eating these cookies.
Not eat cookies? Why would me want to do that?
I'm with him. Okay. So, and then we would talk about, right, what we learned, right, from, okay, class, let's talk about what we learned from the Cookie Monster about self-regulation, right? Why did he keep himself from eating those cookies, and how did he do it, and how would you do it? All right. So right now, we're going to look at one more thing. This is where you guys need your paper, and I can't see you, so I don't know if you're doing this or not, but I'm going to do it. So, so check this out. We all need a little brain break, probably right about now. So I've got my paper and a pen, but here's what we're going to do. Take a look. All right, so I'm going to invite you to join me in taking a brain break right now. CTA members, close your eyes. I'm closing mine, and I'm just going to take like 5 seconds. I hope I'm not the only one doing this and looking silly. And I won't be able to see yours, but I'll show you my self-portrait. So I'm finishing mine up. I hope you guys are doing your self-portrait too. And we're all going to show them. All right, class, we're all going to show our self-portraits at the same time. Yay, there's mine. That was actually pretty good. All right, so these brain breaks are, you're going to have access to all of these in Thrively. There's a science behind all of it, as you know from brain science. We must take these breaks. And one more, so I want to show this, you might get a little bit emotional with this one. I don't know, but let's take a look. But before I do, class, I wanted us to, we're going to go into breakout rooms right now. We're not, but we're going to go into breakout rooms right now. Because after we watch this video about Stephen Curry, I want you to think about those habits or character traits that really helped him win the MVP award. Let's watch and see what you discover about Stephen Curry.
Make sure you live in the moment and work your butt off every single day. And I hope I inspire people all around the world to just be themselves, be humble, and be grateful for all the blessings in your life. And I'm truly honored to be your MVP this year. Thank you very much.
Several years ago, I had the great honor of working the first ever Kobe Bryant Nike Skills Academy. Nike invited the top 20 high school shooting guards and the top 10 college shooting guards in the country to this camp with Kobe. And it's kind of funny now that I look back on it, how many of those players are now household names in the NBA. However, at that time, the least recognized player there was Stephen Curry. But I knew immediately that he was the most impressive and that thinking long-term was going to be a future NBA superstar. And here's how I knew that. It was all because of his work habits. Now, those skills academies, we would have 2 workouts a day for 3 straight days. 30 minutes before every single workout, most players were still in their flip-flops and had on their headphones. And Stephen Curry had already started in his game shooting. He had already started taking game shots, game spots, and game shooting. By the time the workout officially started, he had probably already made 150 shots. He was in a full sweat. When the workout actually started, he was meticulous with everything that he did. He made sure that he had perfect footwork. He made sure that he had perfect shooting form. If he did anything and it wasn't perfect, he did it over again. And he didn't need a coach to tell him, he just did it. And then probably the most impressive thing that he did was as soon as every workout was over, he would not leave the court until he switched 5 free throws in a row. You know how hard that is? But that's the level of excellence that he holds himself to.
Okay, class, so you looked at that level of excellence that Steph Curry holds himself to. So in your groups today, in your breakout, talk about that and then when we come back together as a whole group, I want your team to share out what some of those character traits were. All right, so you guys get the idea. And so that is, those are some suggestions for synchronous learning that you can do in Thrively. But the beauty of it, of course, is too that you don't have to do it synchronously. Let's look at how content is delivered in the Thrively platform. And we're going to hear from my colleague, Patrick, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like from the demo and show you what you guys can do. Oops, it will happen.
Hi friends, my name is Patrick, here to talk to you about playlists in Thrively. At Thrively, we know how busy you are, and our aim is to make your life easier. That's why our team of educators has created content that teachers like you have been asking for. With a click of a button, you'll have access to hundreds of engaging lessons that will fit right into your goals for students. Thrively playlists will ignite your students' curiosity and strengthen their areas for growth. Content in Thrively is organized into playlists. It's the same idea as your Spotify or Pandora apps. Simply click on the Thrively playlist and you'll find goals, lessons, courses, sparks, and projects organized by topics and themes. No matter what grade or subject area you teach, Thrively playlists are timely, relevant, and ready to use. Try them in advisory and homeroom, with GATE and special education, and across the curriculum. Thrively has created hundreds of lessons and playlists to support the work that you're doing in your classroom. You'll find everything from social emotional learning playlists to support student growth and mindsets, self-awareness, and self-management, to lessons in financial literacy, college-ready skills, career exploration, and STEAM, to name a few. At Thrively, we know that teachers want to personalize their classrooms. You can easily create custom playlists. Simply create a learning goal, select the lessons that will help students achieve that goal, and put everything into your playlist. Personalize your classroom and ignite your students' curiosity. Create your first Thrively playlist today. Instruct your students to go to your brand new playlist, and they will be ready to start their skill development journey.
All right, everybody. So let's take a look at what we mean by playlists. So as soon as you have Pro, you will see that when you hover over your avatar, it says Pro is active. And you will be able to access all the playlists in your playlist library. So I'm going to go to the library right now, and I want to show you what some of them look like. So let's pick launching the year middle school as an example. So for educators, we make it simple. You can just pop in, you can see what this is about. This is tied to the CASEL framework, social emotional learning. It could take about 5 hours. Here are the skills. So they're usually in a playlist. They're going to be lessons. You could put goals in here, as Patrick said, Sparks, which are curated websites, which I'll share with you later. But let's take a look at one of the lessons and how these operate in the platform. So our students then get this content, right? And then they're asked, as you saw before with the synchronous demo that I did, they're asked to reflect. And we know as educators that if we're not reflecting, we're not learning. We simply aren't. So we make it so easy for young people to reflect. So they can do it in typing, audio, or video. But look at this particular lesson. We're going to ask students to talk about their emotions in this playlist. And believe me, as I look at this, even as an adult, I think, I need to post this on, on my wall somewhere so I can talk about myself. It's really hard to talk about our emotions. So if a student comes in and says, I'm feeling bad, well, bad what? Okay, well, I'm feeling bad. I guess I'm just feeling kind of frustrated, actually. Oh, so you're feeling a little angry. Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with my little brother because he keeps, taking the computer when I need it for school. Right. And so this helps our students really understand kind of what, how to express themselves in ways that kind of make them feel vulnerable. Just like in that Karen Pittman, remember that young woman who had read a poem, it looked like? I mean, that was so empowering. When students know they're safe with you, they can start to talk about these things. So remember that every single question in Thrively has an audio version. We won't spend any time looking at that now, but if your students, for whatever reason, need to hear the question, it's right there for them, every single question in every lesson. So now, in order to increase our equity, what we want to do is we want to hear from the kids, right? Whether they text it, type it, or send an audio, video, text it, type, audio, or video, we don't care. Just tell us what you think. So look at this. So I'm a kid and I can say, hey, I'm recording this audio right now because I want to tell you right now, I'm feeling really happy because I felt successful at something that I did the other day. I kept trying and I didn't succeed. And then I tried again. And guess what? Now I learned how to do that problem, right? Or I can do it in video and I can say, you can see my green screen. Hey there, hey there, my wonderful educators. I did something really exciting today, made me super happy. Can't wait to share it with you. And now I've shared a video just with my educator. But look at what you guys can do. Check this out. So here I'm going to the teacher toolbar, the journals. Right? And we're talking about growth mindset today. Well, we need our educators to help us, with that as students, right? So I can go here and look at journals and be like, oh, I'm kind of busy. I'm just going to leave a star. But look at Alondra. She said a lot. So how do I make sure that she continues to build on these ideas and continues to grow from them? She's talking about VR. Now I can leave her a quick text message, that's fine. But also I can do a quick audio or a video. So imagine this. I'm your teacher and I'm recording a message just for you. Hey, Alondra, I got so excited about what you're saying about virtual reality and helping people, reduce anxiety about learning something new. Hey, had you ever thought about this? Why don't you check out this resource? Come and talk to me today and I'm going to share more resources with you to grow your understanding of VR. Boom. And she gets a message just from her educator. So much that you guys can do here to increase your relationships with your students, to build those relationships so that we increase trust, so that students feel much freer to really take those those intellectual risks, to try hard, to utilize all their strengths, to succeed in social, emotional, or academic learning. I wanted to show you one more thing because I know this is going to help you tremendously. I'm going to go here. Give me just a second. All right. So I want to show you what data looks like. I'm going to play. Hold on. How about I get some glasses? All right. Getting started. All righty. So when I go into a playlist that I've assigned, I guess I'm having a slow computer day. Bear with me. Try that again. All right. Okay, so here's the getting started playlist. Everybody gets this in Thrively. It tells you, hey, this is an overview. This is what Thrively does. We're going to look at our, just various intelligences and understand our strengths. But look at this in progress report. I go here and I can get a real-time update on how my students are doing and whether or not they're engaging or to what degree they're engaging with the playlist that I just assigned. Because we know it's not enough just to have them, check in to our classes. We have to prove that they're engaging with the content. We make it so easy for you CTA members to do this. So we can pop in here and I can go, whoa, I signed this yesterday and Samantha still hasn't started anything. So I can reach out to Samantha and be like, all right, is this a connectivity issue, a hardware issue? Is it a device issue? Is it that you didn't understand? How can I be helpful? So we can just track that and watch that. The stuff is so exciting and fun in Thrively. You're gonna see this red turn to green in no time, but where our students are who struggle, we really need to be able to get to them right away. So we make that very simple for you. And there are, for some of us, maybe we're not going to spend, let's see, there are 30 minutes. Let's grab this one, this critical thinking one. This is 15 hours of content, right? So if you've got a homeroom, you have an advisory, something like that, this is like your content, like for the rest of the year. But let's say that you don't really have time to do a 30-minute lesson each day. Well, we have you covered. So what you can do is you can go to these playlists called Daily Dose. Daily Dose of Social Emotional Learning is one example. And we have 31 lessons that are 10-minute lessons. If you only have 10 minutes to do SEL in your classroom, that's great. Let's start there. And how you can pop in here to this teacher guide. And we just could not have made it easier for you, which is so great. You guys need something to be easy right now. There are all of these hyperlinks, and there's a scope and sequence already aligned to the Castle framework. And you can just grab this hyperlink and you could assign one lesson in your Google Classroom if you want to. Or you can utilize the entire playlist, assign the whole playlist, and then you can have students pick and choose which one they want to do. Remember what this looks like from the learner end, right? Let's look at Anna again. So when you assign content to Anna, it shows up right here in her playlist carousel. And it's so simple. She can just, scroll through these and she can pick the one she wants. Or if you want to make sure there's a scope and sequence that everybody adheres to, you can just say, hey, start with this one. All right, so you can assign entire playlist, right off the shelf, zero lift for you guys, or you can take a lesson and you can assign that, just grab that link and you can put that lesson right into your Google Classroom. So I go to share lesson here. It's another way to do it, right? And I can copy that link and boom, as long as my students are logged in, they can start that lesson. They don't need to go, they'll take them right to the lesson. They don't need to go into the platform. They just need to be signed in. So many ways to make it simple for you because you guys have enough to do. I do want to share one more thing, and that was that I was talking to you earlier about authentic learning. And there is really, I think, no more powerful way to do that than in project-based learning. We have worked with business partners, right, to do actual business problems where students are doing a business case study. We do a lot of CTE work. You can do these for social emotional learning, project-based learning in any class. But I do want to just show you this quick one as our time is starting to wind down. But look at how the project is designed. In this, when you see these green tabs, most projects in Thrively are designed using a design thinking methodology where students discover, define, ideate, create, engage. So you can see all of that. And then these blue topics are actual links in the project itself. And this is what students are responding to. So we're going to ask them in this group of 4 students, hey, what's your fight song? Think about a time you faced a challenge, right? How did you prove to yourself that you're going to be okay? Right. And so here's the fight song. And bear with me. Just listen for a second. Like a small boat on the ocean. Hey, mind you, you guys can change out any of this content. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. But look at Rachel, right? Rachel, Nathan, Russell, and Anna are all collaborating on this together. Now that they have that trust, right, that Karen Pittman talked about, right, they're going to feel open to be vulnerable and honest with each other. And there's Fred, the teacher, too, right, in this group. So here's Gemma, right? Hey, a small boat on the ocean. I feel like that too. Sometimes a little boat on a big ocean. And she talks about her fight song being this old one by Beyonce called Listen. She can ask people for what she needs. And Nathan's talking about, hey, I don't have a fight song, but I did face this challenge when my family had to move out of their home, right? So Gemma can respond to Nathan and talk to him about how amazing he is. You guys see all of this on your end, so you can monitor this entire chat. But once we get students to really feel strong on their own, they know their strengths, their intelligences, right? The habits of mind they're trying to grow. They know that they're respected and honored, right? That they belong. They're far more likely to engage in meaningful dialogue with their peers. And they can do that easily in Thrively projects. And you can do it here as you can manage Thrively projects here as well. This is a transition special education project. But let's say there's an activity I don't like, I can delete it. I can also modify anything that I choose. All right, so I am going to kind of stop sharing. We've looked at a lot in Thrive. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to share one more thing with those of you who are earning credits. If you would just take a quick look at this. I want to make sure that you're ready for, so you're ready for next time in December. If you're pursuing university credit, you need to make sure that you take the strengths assessment, the MIDAS, and the habits of mind so that you're ready for next time. All right, everybody, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing and come back to the room. Hello, Anita.
Hi, Jane. We have a couple of questions for you. First one being, how safe are students on this platform? Can they interact with other users? Are they protected from malicious activity? Is there information shared without their consent?
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking those questions. First of all, no, we are comply with all COPA FERPA. They are, none of the information is shared. It's a closed system. So students are only sharing with each other, even when a teacher enables that through a project. So otherwise the information is from between teacher and student or teacher and group of educators. So any educator who has administrative access, your counselors, your admin, they can also see student content, but nobody and parents, of course, if the parents are invited, but that's it. That's all.
Very good. And are all the reports in one area?
Yes. So you saw in Insights, all the reports are right there in Insights. Go to your avatar, scroll down, and you can see all, oh, well, I should say, those are some of the reports. Good point. Each playlist, there's a progress report for every distinct playlist. But other than that, your primary reports are there in Insights.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jane. You did a great job.
Thanks, Anita.
Yeah, our students love the projects. They're saying these are some of the other, some of the things we're actually getting. So yes, you did a great job. A lot of great information.
Well, I can't tell you how excited I am. You guys, I'm Jane at thrively.com. You can reach out to me, too, if you want to, individually. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for everything that you do for young people, for our families and our communities. We're all very grateful to you. Thank you.